When you're a socialist with a YouTube channel, you expect some wild comments. And after my last upload, the Republicans in the comment section sure didn't disappoint. Oh look, another low testosterone channel suddenly popping up. You guys are that lost it's embarrassing. Please keep being weird, it worked well last time for you. Never seen a soy boy hick before. Low T level detected. Definitely. Sounds like a win as long as your petitions aren't gay. And it's not like this is unique to my comments section. If you've been anywhere at all on the internet in the past handful of years, you've probably seen a bunch of similar variations. Here, you have what's essentially the prototypical version of the comment, simply pointing out that low testosterone and feminine tendencies is apparently the true definition of a liberal soy boy. Some of these guys are really committed to the bit, too, going as far as to post obviously staged photos on Reddit to reinforce the stereotype. And then you have this dude. He looks like a tough guy, right? Wrong. Low testosterone, because he has Trump derangement syndrome. Where did this all come from, though? Well, I don't know that you could necessarily say this was the beginning of it all, but one of the first instances that really broke through into mainstream consciousness is from everybody's favorite conspiracy theorist and school shooting denier. That's right, Alex Jones. We're talking about gay frogs.
I don't like putting chemicals in the water to turn the friggin' frogs gay.
But what do Alex Jones's delusions about gay frogs have to do with why everyone's calling us soy boys today? Well, it's just a particular flavor of Republicans' favorite pastime, science denial. And in this case, their insistence that something absolutely must be turning our kids gay. You'd think they'd care about more important things than kids' sexualities and conspiracy theories, like maybe actually stopping school shootings. Oh yeah, they figured out that they can blame that on gay people too. So let's dive down the weird rabbit hole of conspiracy theories that dominate today's MAGA Republicans. It takes us from Alex Jones's obsession with gay frogs to soy boys, a weird fixation on beef tallow and raw milk, all the way to unfortunately how we got an anti-vaxxer in charge of the Department of Health and Human Services. What Alex Jones is talking about is atrazine, a common herbicide. And while there are studies showing that it does exactly what he says to frogs, as well as indications of some effects on human health, there is absolutely no indication that atrazine is turning human children trans. Alex Jones went on to walk this back a little bit, doing general damage control during his defamation trial, but that didn't stop people like RFK from marching this theory forward and saying that the reason we have trans people is because of chemicals in our environment.
There's atrazine throughout our water supply. If it's doing that to frogs, it could. There's a lot of other evidence that it's doing it to human beings as well.
Look, I understand that fertilizers in our waterways is not great, and that along with microplastics and other industrial waste, is undoubtedly having effects on human and animal health. The problem is it has absolutely nothing to do with human sexuality, and even worse is that the party these people end up advocating for, if they had it their way, would make it phenomenally easier to pollute the environment even worse. So what about the whole soy thing? Well, these guys are once again obsessed with the idea that there must be some environmental reason for gay and trans people to exist. If it's not the frog feminizing atrazine that's doing it, it must be something else. So the next candidate that they slid in was soy. Why? Because soy contains estrogen analogs called phytoestrogens. Now, it's something that's absolutely worthy of scientific pursuit, and all the studies have been done. Most of the studies show absolutely no effect of phytoestrogens on human estrogen levels. And some studies even show that phytoestrogens compete with estrogen receptors in humans and lower estrogen levels overall. That didn't stop these guys from rolling with things though. And that's the first reason that soy boy became a common insult. But there's more to this, so bear with me. The thing with conspiracy theories is that belief in one conspiracy theory often makes it much easier for you to believe in another. And of course, the phytoestrogen rabbit hole sent them after not just soy, but all sources of phytoestrogen, like every type of seed oil. And that's the reason you see this resurgence of people obsessed with beef tallow. You may have seen this recently from Steak and Shake and other businesses aiming to culturally align themselves with the right wing. And from there, it's not hard to jump to something like consuming raw milk or raw meat, which are both absolutely terrible ideas if you want to stay alive. Does any of this sound familiar yet? Because it's basically RFK's entire platform. From there, these guys started looking for more and more studies that confirmed their priors. That led them to a recent study which showed that elevated testosterone levels lead to lower levels of pro-social decision making. And of course, red hat wearing domestic abusers all over took this to mean that they're the only ones making right decisions, walking around like some sort of giga chad, while all the seed oil consuming soy boys are compromised. Here's the thing though, elevated testosterone and an inability to socialize is more likely to land you in prison than find you a wife, and that's how we end up with the party full of incels supporting a felon. So when it comes down to it, the whole low-T soy boy thing isn't just an insult. It's an elaborate constructed worldview that confirms their deep homophobia and mistrust of science. Here's their high-T king, by the way.
Oh, you dirty boy, you! Oh.
Do you remember your first theater production that you attended?
Well, a long time ago. I would say maybe it was Cats.
And while there's definitely some humor to be found here, and I'm obviously having fun with this video, the unfortunate reality is that these people have control of all of the levers of power right now, with disastrous consequences. Whether that's the Trump administration defunding vaccine research, or the fact that RFK's anti-vax nonsense has trickled down so far that we have people hesitant to give their dogs rabies vaccines because they think it's going to make their dogs autistic. I don't know what we do about this. The homophobia is one thing. Maybe as far as the science denial, we send them back to school in some sort of Billy Madison situation, but there's two problems with that. One, their party has defunded the schools, and two, given the proclivities of some of their leaders, I don't know that we can trust them around children. One thing I do know is that none of this is normal, and we can't treat it as normal. In my opinion, Tim Walz had it exactly right when he was calling Republicans weird, although he didn't go far enough. It's a wild situation when the Alex Jones gay frog clip is the closest thing that we have to a coherent health policy from the Trump administration. I don't know exactly what to do about it, but I do think it's important that we understand it, and that when we see these things, we don't just laugh it off, and we understand that there's actually a reason for it, and that everybody didn't just start chirping about soy boys one day on the internet for nothing. That we live in a media environment rife with misinformation, and it's really easy for bad actors to take a hold of that. If you want to see how we got here, you can just ask RFK a few years ago, before Trump.
You're right about Trump. Well, the way that you build a truly vicious nationalist movement is to wed a relatively small core of belligerent idiots to a much larger group of opportunists and spineless fellow travelers whose primary function is to turn a blind eye to things. We may not have that many outright Nazis in America, but we have plenty of cowards and bootlickers, and once those fleshy dominoes start tumbling into the Trump camp, the game is up.
So which one is it? Are you the belligerent idiot, the spineless fellow traveler, the bootlicker, or the Nazi? This is the part of the video where I ask you for your support. I think it's very important for independent media to stay independent, and I really enjoy making videos. If you'd like to support my ability to continue making videos like this, you can do so over at my Patreon, which is patreon.com/awillroth. That's AWILLROTH. You can also find me doing live broadcasts over on twitch.tv/AnthonyWillroth. I do political commentary on weekdays during the day, and I play games at night. So if any of that interests you, come on and check it out.